Hello everyone, magandang umaga, magandang hapon, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Let us have this session for a review on employee benefits under PAS 19. So let me just share my entire screen so that we can proceed with the discussion of the review questions that I've prepared to you. At the same time, revisiting this standard on IAS 19 employee benefits. So, ang i-share ko po sa inyo ay yung mga sagot na mismo nitong prepare ko na material on employee benefits. I have prepared 15 theories and 15 problem solving din. Pero para mabilisan na po yung ating discussion, eto na, kita nyo na rin po yung sagot or yung solution later for the problem solving. So let us begin with the first question. Ano daw po ang primary objective ng IAS 19 or PAS 19 on employee benefit? A, B, C, D. The correct answer is to establish principles for recognizing employee benefits expenses. Of course, no, to prescribe accounting for employee stock options is not covered by this standard. Share-based payment is covered by another standard, which is IFRS 2. To set tax rules for employee compensation, to provide guidelines for yung letter D, obvious din na hindi po yan yung primary objective. To provide guidelines for business combinations, we also have another standard for that. So kung sakali man, baka yung distractor or yung medyo nakakalito dito ay yung letter C. Pero, hindi lamang po kasi employee compensation ang pinag-uusapan po natin under PAS 19. It also covers those compensation or benefits in general, no, not only covered by under an employer-employee relationship, but even those past the employment. Okay? So if we are to revisit PAS 19 or IAS 19, ang kino-cover po ng mga standards na ito ay short-term employee benefits, your post-employment benefits, and then your other long-term employee benefits and even the termination benefits. Such that, kapag inopen po natin itong scope, no, this standard shall be applied by an employer in accounting for all employee benefits except those to which IFRS 2 share-based payment applies. Okay? So, pag sinabi po natin lahat ng mga employee benefits, it includes the four that I have mentioned. Ang struggle lang natin dito sa sa number 1 for ito kasi no, for letter C, we are talking not about the employee compensation but the tax rules. Pag tax rules, ibang usapan po yan. Ano? So, the appropriate answer is letter B. Okay. Number 2. Alin daw dito yung hindi category ng employee benefits? O, pinakita ko po sa inyo. Ito po yung 4 na category. Wala po dyan ang share-based payments. At yan po yung sinasabi sa standard, no? na outside the scope, no? Except those to which IFRS 2 applies. Okay? Number 3 question. Alin daw sa mga sumusunod ang halimbawa, no, example of short-term employee benefit? A, B, C, or D? The correct answer is wages and salaries. Pension plan, ito po ay post-employment. Severance ay termination. Post-employment healthcare benefit is still under the post-employment benefit. Okay? Now, in fact, now if you are to check on the standard, meron pong breakdown. Ano po ang mga examples ng ating short-term employee benefits? So, wages, salaries, social security contributions, paid annual leave, and paid sick leave. Kaya po dito usually nag-i-involve, mag-involve ng mga computation on liability for compensated absences. It's because of this. Profit sharing and bonuses, if you remember yung mga computation ng bonus before deducting tax. Okay? Short-term employee benefits din yun. And other non-monetary benefits, Kagaya po ng mga de minimis, yung mga fringe benefits, no, under the tax code for current employees. So, short term yung employee benefits na yan. So, dito, ano, wages and salaries, ito po yun. Wages and salaries. Okay? So, that is question number 3. Number 4. How are short-term employee benefits recognized in the financial statements? Paano yung ating measurement din dyan? Yung recognition and measurement. The answer is letter B, when they are accrued as liability. Hindi po kung kailan sila nabayaran at hindi rin kung kailan umalis yung empleyado sa company, or it's not a matter of materiality. The measurement or recognition and measurement under PAS 19 tells us that when an employee has rendered service to an entity during an accounting period, or the entity shall recognize the undiscounted amount as a liability, which is an accrued expense, no, after deducting any amount already paid. Okay, and as an expense. So debit expense, credit liability, which tells us that letter B should be the appropriate answer. Okay? So yan po, no, yung sagot natin sa question number 4. Next po tayo. Ito naman, in a defined contribution plan, sino daw yung nag-shoulder ng investment risk? So class, meron po tayong dalawang kino-compare yung defined contribution plan and the defined benefit plan. In fact, the standard has a separate, no? Teka, pakita ko lang sa inyo. Meron siyang comparison ng post-employment benefit, distinguishing the defined contribution plan to the defined benefit plan. So, ito po yung mga relevant na provisions ng standards. Okay? So, dito, sino daw yung nagbe-bear ng investment risk? The answer is employee. Bakit? Ang variable po dito is the benefit. The contribution is definite. Fixed po yan. Kaya nga, defined yung contribution. So, in the future, kung magkano yung benefit, that depends kung paano na-manage ng mabuti yung investment. So, it's the employee that shoulders the investment risk. It's not the employer. Kasi si employer, fix lang yung contribution. Okay? It's not the government. It's not the insurance company. It is the employee. Okay po. So, that is for question number 5. How about question number 6? Still, this is a defined contribution plan. How are contributions to a defined contribution plan accounted for? At ang sabi din po dito, as an expense when incurred. Hindi po as a liability until paid. Hindi po as an asset or as a non-recurring expense. Okay? We have the provision of your defined contribution plan. Okay? At sabi dito sa recognition and measurement, ayan, similar doon sa short-term employee benefit. As a liability and as an expense. Ayan, ang relevant provision ng standard. Okay? Number 7. Alin daw ang key assumption in actuarial valuation of defined benefit plan? It's not the share price movement. It's not the inflation of raw materials or materials. At hindi po tax rate changes. Ang sagot po natin ay discount rate. Actually, class, no, marami po tayong assumptions pagdating sa post-employment benefit na defined benefit plan. Okay? If you are to look at the provision of the standards, we have the following actuarial assumptions. You have your mortality, you have your discount rate, you have your salaries, benefits, and medical cost. Yan po ang ating mga primary assumptions, mga key assumptions. Yung available po dito sa option ay letter D. Ito, discount rate. Okay? Ayan. So, that is the correct answer to question number 7. Okay, proceed. Question number 8. Under a defined benefit plan, the employer's liability is determined by Letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? It's not the total contributions made during the employee service because the contribution is not the main determinant of the benefit. Dinedefine natin yung benefit pero yung contribution ay naka-variable tayo. Pero the liability is purely determined by your actuarial assumptions. No, salaries, benefits, employee turnover, okay? And actuarial assumptions such as this one. All right? So ito po ang ating mga considerations dito. Demographic assumptions like yung mortality, employee turnover na mention natin dito sa choices. Okay, disability and early retirement. Okay, and other considerations. For financial assumptions, yung discount rate, the benefit level, okay, at marami pa pong iba. And including ito, future salary. So, dito sa ating choices, the appropriate response should be letter B. Okay? Pagdating sa discount rate, it's not set by the government. Okay? And while letter D, the number of years an employee has worked only, while that is correct, but it is wrong in the sense na yun lang ang basis daw ng defined benefit plan. That is just one of the many factors that we have to consider. Okay? So that's question number 8. Proceed po tayo sa question number 9. Speaking of the interest rate, yung assumption on the discount rate, ano daw yung gagamitin po natin? And the correct answer is letter C. The market yields on high-quality corporate bonds. So if we are to look at the actuarial assumption on discount rate, ang sinasabi po ng paragraph 83, the rate to be used is determined by reference to the market yields, okay, on high quality corporate bonds. Pag hindi po yan available, like for currencies for which there is no deep market in such high quality corporate bonds, ano gagamitin mo? The market yields on government bonds. Okay, ito, on government bonds denominated in that currency. Yun po yung gagamitin. So, it's not really set by the government, but it should be set by the market yields on high-quality corporate bonds. But if that's not available, then we will go to the government bonds. Okay? So, that is for question number 9. Okay? Moving on tayo. How about past service cost? The service cost is composed of the current service cost, you have your past service cost, and also your gain or loss on settlement. Okay? Pag pinuntahan po natin, teka i-minimize lang muna natin ito. Punta tayo doon sa, okay, post-employment benefit recognition. Or, teka, nandito yata siya. Hanapin ko lang Sorry. Nasa baba pa dapat. Okay, ito. Service costs or composition ng defined benefit cost. So, yung service cost mo, okay, or in terms of the defined benefit cost, it's composed of the service cost, the net interest cost, and the remeasurement. Pero pagdating dito sa service cost, binubuo po yan ng 3. Okay? Asa na yon? Nawawala. Napin natin Okay. Ayun. Hindi ko lang napansin agad. Yung service cost ay binubuo daw ng current service cost, the past service cost, and any gain or loss on settlement. Pero, ano daw yung past service cost? Yung past service cost is the change in the present value of defined benefit obligation in prior years, resulting from a plan amendment, either in an introduction or a withdrawal or a change to a defined benefit plan or a curtailment. Pag sinabi natin curtailment, it's a significant reduction, no, by the entity in the number of employees covered by the plan. Okay? So, dito sa question natin, past service cost daw arises when a company introduces or amends a defined benefit plan. Okay? It's not letter B, it's not letter C, it's not letter D. Okay? So, the appropriate response should be letter A. Okay? So, ayan po, no? Number 11 na tayo. Alin daw sa mga ito ang kinukonsider natin as termination benefit? You have 4 options: unpaid benefit leave, annual bonus, severance pay, and pension benefit. So, ang tamang sagot po natin ay letter C, severance pay. Pag severance, terminate, tinanggal ka. Okay? Revisit po natin yung provision ng standard on termination benefit kasi meron din po tayo dyan. Malapit nang mawala ang aking boses. Okay. Puntahan natin ang termination benefit. Okay. Dito po tayo. So, termination benefit result from either an entity's decision to terminate the employment or an employee's decision to accept an entity's offer for benefits in exchange for termination of benefit. So, yan po, ano? Severance pay is an example. Okay, wala lang ditong in-itemize na examples, no? Pero, resulting from termination, tinanggal ka sa trabaho. Alright, proceed po tayo sa number 12, which is an example daw of a long-term employee benefit. So, profit sharing, payable within 12 months, short-term. Annual leave, short-term. Overtime pay, yung letter D is short-term. Long-term, meron tayong keyword dito, long-term. Hindi, that's the correct answer. Okay? Meron ding provision or example ang ating standard kung ano-ano yung mga example ng mga long-term employee benefits dito. Ayan. So, long-term paid absence, mga sabbatical leave, jubilee, or other long service leaves. Ito, no, yung sagot natin sa number 12, long-term disability benefit. Profit sharing and bonuses na expected to be settled after 12 months, no? More than 12 months. And yung mga deferred remuneration na tatagal ng 1 taon. Okay? So, ayan po, no? Number 13, which of the following daw best describes a post-employment benefit plan? Post-employment. Okay? Post-employment, Patapos yung employment mo. Before retirement, hindi po yan post-employment kasi before. Letter B is the correct answer. Upon leaving the organization, kung may matatanggap ka ng mga benefits, yun yung post-employment. Okay? Benefit that is not covered. Pinag-uusapan po natin yung post-employment under the coverage of IAS 19. A benefit payable to an employee's family members only. It's not limited to the family members. In fact, it should be the first priority, yung employees. Then, kung covered din yung mga, let's say yung mga post-employment ng mga medical, kung sakaling covered, no, yung family members, that's considered post-employment benefit plan. Okay? So, yun po, for question number 13. Number 14, ito po ay scenario. Si Yala & Chen Company provides an annual bonus to its employee based on company performance. Yung BOD nag-approve ng 2.5 million in December of 2024. Babayaran in March of 2025. How should we account this bonus under IAS 19? Short term yan. Okay, kung ang cutoff natin December 31, 2024. Or kung gusto niyo gawin natin itong current, December 2025, payable in March 2026. Total naman, malapit na, Okay? O, di palitan natin ito. recognized in expense in 2025, recognized only when paid in 2026. Sabi natin, short-term employee benefit, nagre-recognize tayo ng expense at mag-a-accrue tayo ng liability. So, ang sagot po natin dito ay letter A. Okay? So, yun po. No? Number 15. WTA Incorporated decides to downsize its workforce. So, magtatanggalan and offers voluntary termination benefits sa mga empleyado na magre-resign before March 31, 2025. Okay. Or, gawin na rin natin itong, March 31, 2026. Pwede naman. The total cost is estimated to be around $2 million po ito, Pero, kailangan nilang pumirma ng kontrata, ng agreement bago tanggapin yung benefit na yun. Ang question, kailan natin i-recognize yung termination expense? So, the correct answer is letter A, when employees accept the offer. It's not when the employees leave. It's not when the company pays the benefit or over the next few years. The provision of the standard tells us, and hanapin lamang po muna natin yung termination benefit. Asa na nga yun? Puntahan natin yung measurement or yung recognition. An entity shall recognize a liability and the related expense at the earlier, pa-take note po nito at the earlier of the following dates. When the entity can no longer withdraw the offer and when the entity recognizes cost for a restructuring that is within past 37. Okay, yung past 37 on liabilities, provisions, contingent assets, and contingent liabilities. Okay? So dito, when an employee accept the offer, okay? So natanggap na nila. Anong sabi dito? For termination benefit, please take note of paragraph 166. The time when an entity can no longer, supporting itong 165A, the time when an entity can no longer withdraw the termination benefit is the earlier of when the entity accepts the offer and when a restriction on the entity's ability to withdraw the offer takes effect. Yung hindi mo na pwedeng ma-withdraw. Yung in-accept mo na agreement. Okay? So, that supports the answer for number 15, which is letter A. Okay? So, ayan po muna, Pupos ko muna ito. Stop ko muna. Mag-round 2 na lang tayo dahil yung aking boses ay nawawala na. Babawiin ko muna yung boses ko bago tayo mag-resume. Pero that's it for now. I will now end this recording.